Here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Listen, we need something that will play to your strengths of loving the sound of your own voice and talking forever. Podcasts.
Podcaster Garry Meier.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
I'm the guy.
He's Gary Meier.
Cocktails. Woo! Drinks.
Hi there, GarrForce pals. It's the Saturday, October 2nd, 2021 edition of the Garry Meier Show, Cocktail Hour Live. This is Alan Delenka, live show producer here, and as you probably know, I also cover all things Disney for MousePlanet.com. Yesterday, October 1st, was my Central Florida neighbor, Walt Disney World Resort's 50th anniversary, and I was invited to preview what Disney has planned for its 18-month-long event it calls the World's Most Magical Celebration. I also had a chance to have a close-up view of this special moment.
And now it is with great enthusiasm and pride that we officially rededicate Walt Disney World.
Garry serves up yappetizers and other assorted nonsense. Leslie Kyling shares batches of news and provides commentary throughout the show, too. You bring your own beverages or whatnot, and you'll meet more folks along the way. We've been on the GarrForce Live YouTube channel and the Garry Meier Show Facebook page for more than a year now, and you can catch replays of this episode and all our past live shows in both those places.
Thanks, Todd Pickering. Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. You bring what you enjoy and be responsible about it. Garry podcasts 5 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday podcasts are complimentary. Tuesday and Thursday podcasts are available to premium subscribers. Check out GarryMeyer.com for more, or download his app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Comments are welcome on all of our live streaming channels, and yes, that includes Twitch. You can also text us at 773-888-2157. Regular charges may apply. Now, fasten your seatbelts, it's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Saturday Night Live edition of the GarrForce Cocktail Show. Just this weekend, it's Saturday, back to Friday next week. And speaking of Saturday Night Live, their season premiere is tonight. And as I've said every year, if the first show of the new season isn't crackling for the entire 90 minutes, I don't get it. I think for what this is every week, we probably do a little better. But that's me talking. Let me say hello to people who have checked in through the screen door that Tracy sent me. We're at the Streaming Schnauzer live show. We're fetching on all fours. Stephen, Palos Park, Illinois. Stephen, Cheryl, Karen, she's at her daughter's house in Rockton. That's in Wisconsin, I believe. Right, Ryan? Because she was in Lake Geneva all day. She went to Rockton.
Rockton is right at the border.
Okay. And you said love it. You responded to her. You are a fellow Wisconsinite, so you have to high five her. Cindy, Doggy Boy, that's Matt. Mario, Blaze, Barbara, and let's see what I've written down that's already scrolled by. You got Martin from British Columbia. You got Peter in Florida. You got Jack, Simon, and I believe Mary Jo. Yeah, welcome one and all. And I hope you had a decent Saturday as we creep to the point of what we were talking about a few months ago, where the show was coming to you and there was daylight finally. Now we're going back to where there won't be any daylight at this time in a couple of weeks on a Friday. And that is one of the reasons we drink. And I know you come here because a lot of things don't make sense. And if you believe, like I believe, that this whole existence is nonsense, you've come to the right place. I'm tired of looking for meaning. I'm just enjoying every day because the more I looked, I didn't find any. That must mean there isn't any. Let's hit the tires. Let's kick them. Let's light the fires. Let's get wheels up. And Leslie, why don't you remove the condom and really say hello to the show?
Hey everybody! I got me a Ferrari Carano Fume Blanc today, and we are ready to. Oh, I got some serious build up here.
I'll bet. Let it go. Let it go. Go. Oh, oh, Papa. There it is. And later in the show, we'll be giving away a wine condom and a hockey puck.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we should probably get that started right off the bat.
Yeah, that's how this works. And tell people how they can enter. And then at the end of the show, the computer randomly picks the winner.
Why don't we do hashtag hockey puck? Does that sound like something our friend Alan can do? And we'll do hashtag hockey puck. It is an official Blackhawks Major League, National Hockey League hockey puck, unsigned, so you can sign it yourself and feel like you're something special. But there you go. It's official.
All right.
Hockey puck.
Hashtag hockey puck. Put that up. And then, like I said, the computer will pick the winner later in the program. Okay, let me share something with you that I heard today. I was in this meeting and this speaker laid out the reason why this virus has been so devastating and lingering. We've had viruses in the past and we were able to combat them, beat them down, and they were probably as potent as this one is. Here's what he said. And I got to believe this is pretty much the reason. He said millions of Chinese have moved from rural areas to urban areas. And in the past decade or so, 400 million Chinese have been traveling all over the world.
Right.
There you go. You're living in those rural areas, and we've seen these stories about what they eat. They move to the urban areas, bigger population center, and then they start traveling. They're the biggest group of travelers on the planet, all over the world, 400 million over the last number of years. Ta-da!
So we're essentially the indigenous people who get visited by foreign travelers with smallpox, that sort of thing. Is that what you're saying? I mean, history does. That's how these viruses spread. I mean,
well, we've had viruses before, and
pandemics,
remember SARS and Ebola and all that stuff. And I don't remember a whimper of, hey, we might have to shut things down. We dealt with it and moved on because the spreading wasn't happening on this global scale.
Right.
And the whole planet has been shut down for this particular pandemic. The one in 1918, I don't think that was a whole world event, was it? Wasn't that just in this country? Or was it? I don't remember. That I wasn't around.
Smaller populations, not as mobile.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
even when we supposedly shut things down, thousands of people were traveling here, there, and everywhere.
Yes.
And look, even places as remote as Australia and New Zealand, as much as they tried to shut everything down, there is no way in this global society.
No, because we didn't have airplanes back in 1918. There was no commercial air travel. It all stayed contained in wherever it was. This is where we're at. And this is why we have a cocktail show, a gummy show, because I've had a shitty week. I'm just going to put it out there. It's just been a turd on toast. That's the way I want to explain it. And the coup de grace was yesterday, and it was probably good we didn't do the show last night. We had a plumbing problem at the house. None of the toilets were working. So last night it was me and Flynn out in the backyard, and Flynn looked at me, hey, this is my game here. What are you doing?
I don't know. When I used to walk my dog and she'd have to make hard lemonade, she didn't want to look at you. Does he do that thing where he kind of
like, he'll find a remote place like, I have some dignity here. Apparently,
Garry, meanwhile?
I didn't. He shot me a look. and there was that moment. And ladies and gentlemen, you probably had it where the power goes off or some of these modern conveniences are not available for a length of time. And you think, how did billions of people live like this.
Right.
And they did. Billions.
I'll just go make a cup of coffee to calm down. Oh, wait, no
Yeah.
electricity.
And-
Or,
yeah.
I'm just going to flush the toilet.
Yeah, just 24 hours without them. I'm thinking there were whole lifetimes. Well, the lifetimes are 35 years, but still,
Well, yeah.
no electricity, no indoor plumbing, no airplanes, very few viruses. I guess that was the
So we're
plus
very
side.
lucky. Let's
Yeah.
face it. We have each other. We have a Saturday night. I
Yeah.
was going to dress up, but I realized, wait, it's the same time that we do it on a Friday, so it's not that much fancy.
No, so I really needed this to wrap up the week. Everything's fixed now, and I had to go to a funeral on Monday, and Keith was on vacation, producer Keith, so the shows were late, and there was a lot of, I mean, that's not earth-shattering, but there's a rhythm to everything, and you don't like to see it disrupted. And it was just one of those weeks. Was there a full moon this past week? Because I like to blame a lot on that.
No, I'm
No,
thinking
it's whatever whenever it was, it's lingering.
there's some sort of cosmic thing
Yeah.
going on.
But I think to that point, a lot of people that I'm talking to are having a lot of crap moments lately. And that's why I'm referring to this virus, because it seems like we were making some progress and now we seem to be rolling back. We're stuck here now that we're kind of in this taint area. It tain't good.
You know what? I that word is right up there with like nipple now. Just makes
okay.
it taint. I
Taint.
don't.
Oh, that's okay. Taint.
Anyway.
Hey, let me tell you about our guest next week. And this will probably help me because I've been reading this book. Move On, Motherfucker. Live, Laugh, and Let Shit Go by Jodi Eckleberry Hunt. And this
Is that not the best name?
deals directly with things in your life that have really kneecapped you, and it's either a person or a situation, and you just can't get over it. And you get drained by it. It goes on for years, maybe forever. And I know I've been through it, and I looked at the book and I thought, yeah, I have to do the stuff she's saying in that book. The motherfucker is you, not the person or situation you're trying to get away from. It's you. When you get stuck in that, you say, move on, motherfucker, let's go.
A warning, today's shows will have a lot of swears.
I guess we should have put that up earlier.
Yeah, earlier. But in other words, you can't control other people. The only thing you can control is your response to them.
Yes.
And so, well, I can't wait to meet Jodi Eckleberry Hunt. Like I said, the name reminds me of Huckleberry. Somebody else, Doggy Boy, just pointed that out. Yeah, it does sound a little like, which makes me feel happy.
Okay, well, whatever it takes. I mean,
it ain't taint.
As I'm looking at this person in the casket on Tuesday, I'm thinking, yeah, this is how it all ends up. So what? Why are we so wrapped in all this nonsense? I know that's simple, and it's been the cliche for many years, and I understand that, but it's true. We beat ourselves up, and then the reward is, get in the box. Get in the box. You're done. Close the lid.
You made me swear right there again.
And then we went to the cemetery, and I'm looking at these tombstones and birth, death. Well, yeah, I'm sure they worried about a lot of stuff too. A lot of good it did them.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
Once again, let's remind everybody, just hashtag
Yeah.
hockey puck.
Well, I don't mean to sound grim and depressing, but that's to make you feel better, to make you enjoy the moment more, because we miss a lot of these moments because we're stuck. And that's what I want to do.
Is you wake up, if the best thing you can do is start your day feeling just a little bit grateful. And then if you can move on from there, you're still doing better than 99% of the people on the planet. So
there you go. As Patty said, there are 6 planets that are retrograde right now. Crazy times. And I'm very sensitive to that stuff. I feel the atmosphere when it's out of sync, and I'm in that spin.
You were so one with nature yesterday that your dog gave you the skinny eye, huh?
Yeah. Back to the basics right there. This is how Abe Lincoln did it, and he was the president. So what? So I borrowed a water vacuum from the neighbor to suck up the water, and this is another tool that was very zen. I like.
Was it?
Yes, because you're pulling the water out of the ground of your house and putting it in this container, and then you dump it. But
so we're talking a classic shop vac, a wet dry shop vac.
It's a wet, right. And yeah, it's in that stump grinder, weed whacking category. And I just like these tools. Something else these people didn't have many years ago when things flooded.
Maybe it's because that lets us control our environment. And maybe that's all we hope for these days, is to have that little moment when you control your environment. It's like decorating your cubicle or doing these little things that at least in this space makes sense.
Yeah.
And sometimes, that's all you get too.
But as wound as I sound, I'm Serenity now. I went to check my lottery tickets today, and the store has those machines where you can check your ticket, and they have 2 of them, and they're about 2 feet apart. So I go to check them, and this woman is checking hers, and what appeared to be her daughter was standing in front of the other one. And so I couldn't really get in there, and I didn't want to, I just stood there and I waited, and she finished, and she turned to me. She said, "There's another machine right here." And I thought, but your daughter was standing in front of it. I didn't say anything. I wasn't making faces. I was just standing there waiting my turn. Why are people looking for trouble?
Well, and with that, it's confounds me how many people don't have rear view mirrors. I mean, these are the people who stop at the top of escalators. They're the ones who step out of an elevator and just like hang there for a second while everybody else is piling up behind them.
Yeah.
Just be aware of your environment
That's
for
it,
half a
but
second and how it's going to affect people.
Serenity now. Yesterday, a woman cut in front of me, right in front of me. And so I get behind her, and I didn't honk or anything. I thought, okay, maybe she didn't see me. So she pulled over right after that and waved me in front of her as if to say, "I'm sorry," which is a nice gesture, but it wasn't like I was crazy. I'm not going to get crazy for all these little things. People do. I make mistakes.
Thank yous and I'm sorries go a long
We all make mistakes, and we just have to accommodate some of these and move on. But this whole road rage and pulling a gun for the stupidest stuff, I think it's time to calm the F down. All right. That felt pretty good. I'm releasing.
Are you? Moving on, MFer.
I got a text from Nancy from Arizona, and she sent me this story. Speaking of the virus, this guy, I believe it was in Japan, he got COVID, and he then developed what's called a restless anus because of COVID.
I've heard about this. Right.
You have?
So we've heard of, well, I just heard of this because, I am the newsroom. But
award-winning.
In the same way that you have restless leg syndrome, somebody who but it seems like if you have restless leg syndrome, okay, maybe your mattress takes a beating, but a restless anal syndrome is kind of
okay. That's why I think the Supreme Being is a prankster. He gives us the virus, and that's not enough. He has to add on. All right, you're going to get the virus, and then you're going to get a nervous anus. And that's a great clown name. I understand that. But when you have,
oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's nervous
welcome
anus.
Your entertainment, nervous anus. When you have body parts that are restless, the Jimmy leg and all that, I can't.
Right.
I mean, your anus is nervous. What does that feel like? Whoa.
Okay, so that moment when you're kind of falling asleep, and then you get that feeling that you're falling, and you do that jerky wake up thing.
Yes.
Except in this case.
Yes, it's in the rear. It's your anus going, well, hello. Hello.
Oh, that's oh boy.
Okay. So there's that.
Bad days.
All right. So
good days. Good days.
Yeah. So that's the gist of the week, and on to better things, right?
Do you want some stuff?
You got stuff?
I have a couple of batches that we can dive into.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, first of all, Rapper Eminem is now a restaurateur, inspired by the lyrics of his song Lose Yourself and the line, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. Mom's Spaghetti opened this week in Detroit, selling nothing but pasta. Eminem even took a turn manning the drive-through lane on Wednesday. His manager, Paul Rosenberg, says the response from fans has been overwhelmingly positive.
Usually with a celebrity, somebody approaches them from the restaurant game and says, can we put your name on the restaurant as a draw? We'll do all the other stuff because the restaurant business is not for the squeamish. You really have to know what you're doing.
How Sabrina got started?
Easy. That was a nightclub.
Sorry.
And here's the mistake we made. We served food. That was a mistake. We shouldn't have served food.
Did they talk to you or did you talk to them?
About what?
Or was it a mutual talking to?
About what?
Like who approached whom in this case?
I was approached by some guys who had run nightclubs before and they were successful. And I think they were onto something here, but they straddled we're a nightclub, we're a restaurant, and you have to define yourself. You can't be both. You got to be one or the other for the most part. And we got caught in what is it? And we would have white tablecloths up until about 9 o'clock serving food and then put the tables away and it was a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were like time. Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah. I mean, oh, yeah. Were you were there a few times, right?
The Babalu and the floor. Was there entertainment? Did you have live?
We had DJ. We had a DJ.
Okay.
You were there, right?
Yeah. You used to make these little lemon drinks
drops. Yeah.
That they would set on fire. So it was. I mean, this was before fusing things with smoke all over the place. It was kind of a one-of-a-kind thing.
Yeah, I had a good time, but I'd rather have the money I invested. It was a good time, but no.
Well, and on top of that, so here's Eminem's restaurant based on a line in a song about where he's so nervous that he's spitting up mom's spaghetti. And somebody went, you know what? That sounds delicious. Let's make a restaurant out of that. Anyway, in other Eminem news, he's going to be joining Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Snoop Dogg as the headliners of the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. Dr. Dre is already promising that it will be an unforgettable cultural moment. Others are calling it an oldies reunion.
Whoa, isn't it 12 minutes? What are they going to do? It's 12 to 15 minutes. You got how many acts?
Something like 6, but Dre and Eminem are going to overlap. I'm thinking, call me a doctor. That's so. But how you're going to bring everybody out that fast?
They do it though. It is remarkable how they can set that up and take it down in that short amount of time.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of sad too to think that they consider all these people an oldies act.
Yeah. Well, get ready.
Okay, so speaking of football too, you got to hand it to the equipment staff on the Green Bay Packers. They did some thinking outside the box and created a special pocket in running back Aaron Jones's jersey so he can have his father's ashes with him on the field. Mr. Jones previously kept those ashes in a medallion around his neck, but that fell off during game 2 of the season and was nearly lost. So equipment manager Gordon Red Batty created a special little pocket on the left side of Mr. Jones's jersey to keep Dad safely tucked in from now on.
And as I said, you end up in a box, or in this case, in an NFL player's pocket. Are you going to be cremated or buried? Have you decided?
We're kind of shooting toward buried.
Okay.
I want to do the bunk bed style. Okay. There's a lot of times it's like husband, wife. Well, but there are other times now where you can go husband, wife, or wife, husband, and who gets to be on top is to be determined.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but doesn't that I don't know.
Yeah.
It's shit. You think
I don't know what I want. I told my wife to surprise me if I go first.
You're going to end up in the pocket of some NFL player.
That's right. I hope.
If I could end up in Aaron Rodgers' pocket.
I'll bet. Hey, speaking of Jeopardy, this guy, this Matt Amodio,
right?
you've got to watch this guy. He knows everything. He's one of those super players that come along. Well, he just beat Holzhauer's record as far as consecutive wins. Now, I don't remember how much Holzhauer won, but this Matt has won 1.2 million something.
So there's some like rivalry going on between the two, because Holzhauer pointed out that at this point in his win, he had more money amassed.
Right.
But Matt now has one more game under his belt. So
it's one of those things.
Like they say, it's a small club, and all these people are just really happy for each other.
But it's remarkable to watch this guy, as it was with Holzhauer and Jennings. They know something about everything. And the game is over before the first commercial break. It's one of those things, if you haven't seen it.
They have photographic, or what we think of as photographic memories. But he still has to have read some of these things. So he has some framework to work with. I mean, he knows there are a couple of things that he doesn't know. And I think it's like music he's not real big on, like modern music, but
he got the Led Zeppelin answer yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, he does know a little about that. I like the other two contestants. At about 3-4 minutes in, they start balancing their checkbook and ordering out for food. I saw the one contestant eating fried chicken about 7 minutes into the program.
And that's it. They set up like a game between the two of them to see who gets $2,000 and who gets $1,000.
Why? I know you want to be on Jeopardy. Right. I know you want to be on Jeopardy, so you apply and they pick you, and then you come up against this guy and think, great. I'm just like a sitting duck here. And they look like they're a deer staring into headlights as soon as the show starts, because they know the guy's been on for a month and they're not going to win for the most part unless there's another super genius coming along. And you're just a sitting duck getting carved up by this guy. It's kind of embarrassing.
To say, though, little Mayim Bialik is kind of easing into her position.
Well, because we're watching a super genius. It's almost irrelevant that we have a host of any kind right now. It doesn't matter. This guy's ripping it up, and it's extraordinary to watch. And some people have that schadenfreude where they want to see somebody fail. I'm hoping that he gets all the daily doubles to see how much he'll bid on. He's had situations where he was about 5,000, 6,000 up and got the double Jeopardy and put it all in and lost it. Went back to zero and still won.
There was one game in particular where he got to start double Jeopardy because he was in the red. And it's like, oh, this could be the day. And then, he still ends up with
he comes back from any hole. Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Wow. Is that it? You got more?
I got more. Do we want to do?
Well, here's what I want to talk to. I want to talk to Ryan. I want to do that Wisconsin report. I want to talk to Alan about the 50th anniversary of Disney World. First, Ryan.
Hey, how are everyone? You? How are you? We've got two other Corcorans listening today, Larry and Karen. So you got 3 Corcorans on the show today.
Are they related?
I'm not familiar with either of them. So,
okay,
but thought that was pretty cool in the chat that there's 3 of us.
There's Grandpa Corcoran in the background.
Yeah, Mr. Bones. You'll learn a little bit more about Mr. Bones in the.
Okay, here's the backstory. Report. Before the show, Ryan says, "Well, I'm at my parents' house in Oregon, Illinois."
Yep.
And I said, "So your parents set up the skeleton? That's their decoration?" He said, "No, that's my son Hank's. We brought it with us with half of his toy chest." How long are you there for? A couple months?
2 days. We came Friday and we leave tomorrow. So 2 days. But he's a heavy packer. Yeah.
Tell us what you brought of Hank's.
We brought Mr. Bones. We bought a bunch of his stuffed animals. We brought his electric dirt bike. We brought his bike. And then we brought some miscellaneous toys. So
is his attention span that bad where you can't sit with him with Nana and Papa and have a nice visit?
He likes to be active, and down here he has a little more room to, be more of a boy than at our place.
So. I want to know if he rented a box truck to get it all there.
I mean, the U-Haul pulls up to the parents' house, unloads all his stuff for 2 days.
And my wife says, "You're not coming back home. You're picking up at school and leave. I don't care if you forgot something." So we had strict instructions to get the heck out.
Okay. Does he visit at all with his grandparents while he's there, or is he too busy?
They do things with him. So yeah.
Yeah. Buy him more stuff.
Buy him more stuff. Plays in the hot tub. So yeah, he's.
Are we any closer to being able to talk about America's Funniest
I have
Video?
not heard a peep out of that. That's
Okay.
good.
Let's
That's a
tell
good
people
question.
what you're talking about.
So
you submitted a tape to America's Funniest Videos, and you're in
kind of the running for the fall season. Yeah. So I haven't heard a peep. So we need to. I'm going to have my wife reach out to their production or kind of whoever.
Don't the finals not happen till like May? Isn't that like the final sweeps when they do their last round of it?
We've got some time. So.
Well, you have all the elements they like. It's a kid. It's a kid in motion, and he hurts himself. Or it looks like he hurts himself. They love that.
And irresponsible parents, all of that. So we've got all the elements. The only other thing I was going to say this week, and I have an image here, Alan, if you can share that. I was at the supermarket. I like to keep on the dirty belts. So this week it wasn't wet; it was just dirty. You see my bread there. But when I was out looking around, they have a tool. I shared a different one. There it is. A tool here that you can install. Supermarkets can buy, and they can clean the belts. Imagine that.
Okay, that has to be in every supermarket. That's a UV light.
Yes. And a quote from their website says, "Few places are dirtier than the check stand conveyor belts at your local supermarket. Going around year after year, conveyor belts may look clean, but they are breeding grounds for unwanted bacteria."
I've been talking about this for years. The wet spots.
Yes. So this is a company, looks like, I think, out of Salt Lake City, that you can install this little thing and it goes around and cleans the belts.
Okay, that should be a law that all grocery stores have to have that.
So
can they sponsor our podcast?
Yes. I want to be their spokesperson.
I could honestly, see you being the A number person for this.
And here's what I'll do as their spokesperson. There are a lot of places where a wet spot might be okay. The grocery store belt is not one of them. Yeah. That's not where you want your wet spot.
Because if I've reported, the checkers are kind of over the cleaning, so they're not doing much cleaning, and some of the plexiglass has come down too. At mine, some of the plexiglass has started to come down, so it's really kind of back to normal. Everybody for themselves.
Okay, but we're not back to normal. Stop. Mm-hmm. We're not. Mm-hmm. We're not even close. It looks like this is going to flare up, and we're going to really pay the price unless we stay low right now.
And they're diverting everybody over to the self-checkouts, and those have no dividers. But as I said before, now they installed the overhead cameras to make sure you're swiping your produce right. But I think, as you said, Leslie, you knew someone that they had to act like they were paying attention when you check out, but not
appear to be attentive. said the checkout.
So maybe that's the model. Ship them over there and don't worry about the plexiglass or cleaning. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre.
So at the GarrForce store, we're sure it's all going to be done right.
God!
The clean belts, the checkers who pay a lot of attention. No self checkout lines.
Yes. No. That's a ploy to get rid of cashiers, and I will not have it.
So just down the road a piece, they're opening up our first Amazon Prime grocer. I don't think it's called Amazon Prime Grocer, but Amazon Fresh, I think, is what it is. But this is going to revolutionize the whole grocery shopping experience. And in fact, yes, it's going to put people out of work because Jeff Bezos isn't wealthy enough.
I saw this article about stores closing, and it's some of the bigger names that you would not think would be closing stores. Walgreens, Starbucks.
Right.
That's what's
Sears
going to be affected now.
Sears is
Sears,
in the dustbin of
but some of them you've always had to wonder why they needed as many as they had. I mean, there are places in Chicagoland where near where I used to live in Lakeview where there were Walgreens every 2-3 blocks. There were Starbucks across the street from each other because sometimes the data says people won't cross the street to get a cup of coffee, and you wonder how many of those can all exist in the same couple of blocks.
Okay, well, that's part of it, but this Amazon wave is just killing a lot of stuff.
And there's nothing at the supermarkets. My wife called me today and said she was at Costco. No toilet paper, very little paper towels, and it's like crazy.
That's the supply chain is disrupted because they can't get drivers or people to work in the factory, or whatever it is.
There's something like 60 ships stacked up outside the harbors in Los Angeles and Oakland right now, and There aren't trucks. There aren't people to unload. The whole system is now completely out of whack.
Oh,
a year.
good. Now we're right back to
There's the stuck ship.
There's the evergreen stuck. Hey, Ryan, before you do your report, I want to pay homage to the fine sponsors. It would be the premium members who've signed up for those extra shows and Bettenhausen Automotive. Yeah.
Get a man-made muscle masterpiece at Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, and certified Megastore in Tinley Park and Orland Park. Get 0% for 72 months on a new 2021 Dodge Charger or Challenger. Bettenhausen has hundreds of vehicles to choose from. Your best Dodge buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Yes, they do. And if you're looking for a mortgage, a refi, or other things in that department, here's your guy. David Hochberg and his team, they'll give you a free consultation. You can't beat that. Free. And then if everything works out, then you do business. He'll save you money. That's what he does. He's very good at it. And I've known David 20 plus years. And I just can't say enough good stuff about him. In fact, next week, I believe Leslie's going to give away a GarrForce scarf. And David was my sugar daddy for those.
And we were still working at a radio station that will remain unnamed.
Yes.
But Garry had the foresight to go, you know what?
Don't
Just
put them on
GarrForce.
there. Yeah, because I saw where it was going. I said, David, let's order these, but I'm not putting that radio station's logo on there and I was right. They went south. But there's the GarrForce scarf. That'll be next week in the giveaway.
So and David, next week we'll be back to Friday at 5 p.m. too.
There's the number, or that's the number, and the website is there. And NMLS number 1124061. Thank you, David. Okay, Ryan is going to do his Wisconsin report. And you showed all the pictures you assembled. Getting back to that skeleton, the big deal now is those real tall skeletons.
Here, I have that one. I have that one from... If you want
this is down the street.
This is down the street. Yeah, and the question is, where does he store the skeleton?
There's
my son. How tall you can get a reference point.
There you go. How tall can they go? Well, that's what 8-10 feet.
Yeah, I think that's 10, from 12, Home Depot. Yeah. I think that was the Home Depot craze last year. So
yeah, let's go bigger and all that. Here's the problem with decorations. Where do you store all this stuff? Mm-hmm. And you only use it for 3-4 weeks, and then you got to store it for 11 months.
And I got to figure that assembly is going to be a pain. So does he just kind of crinkle them up and put them somewhere?
I'm sure all those parts come off, and you put it in a box, and then you got to. That's why these storage lockers. There's another good investment. Storage lockers. People have too much stuff, so they have to go get storage lockers.
Ryan, should Hank develop a real affinity for Mr. Bones? I mean, are you prepared for him to be just a member of the family for a while?
He's been. You'll see in the report.
The fact he's gone on vacation with you says something.
I liken it to Elf on the Shelf. He moves around. He just appears in different spots during Halloween. So we'll see if he disappears after Halloween. But
so that's part of your report.
That is part of my report. You'll see some information on that.
All right, Alan, why don't we roll that now?
All right, give me a moment because it crashed when I tried to preload it. Let's hope it doesn't crash when I actually load it here in the show in 3, 2, 1, go.
It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Let's have some fun. It's Saturday night, and this is Ryan. I have a few updates from Wisconsin this week. The Culver's food chain has taken an April Fool's joke and made it into a limited release burger of the day. It'll be on October 15th, and the burger will be called the Churter Burger. It will have a big deep fried cheese curd on top of the burger. Kind of looks like a big onion ring here in the picture. A spokesman from the restaurant says it's a heavy, hearty display of dairy. I guess we're in the dairy state, so that makes sense. I'll have to see if there's one at some of the local restaurants here and let you know how it turns out. Around the area where I'm seeing more and more haunted houses popping up. The one locally here is called the Wisconsin Fairgrounds. It's at the Wisconsin Fairgrounds here in Waukesha County, and they're highlighting this year that they have open barrels of burning wood. kind of like maybe post-apocalyptic theme. I just thought that was funny that they would highlight that. You can see the crazy clown here is probably part of the fun too. I think I'm going to pass on the haunted houses this year, but we're having fun at our house. We've added a member of our family called Mr. Bones. He's a life-size skeleton you can put into many poses. My son's having fun with them, putting him on a swing set and in the bathroom to scare mom. So it's kind of like that Elf on the Shelf thing that you do around the holidays, only for Halloween. It's some fun, and here's a few pictures. Hopefully you have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll talk soon.
I saw on the net somebody put a display up of all skeletons, but they're stripper skeletons. So there's a skeleton on a pole and doing all the stripper moves, and people have been complaining in the neighborhood.
Well, we try to keep it inside, just, you know, the swing set, the bathroom, the way outside the bathroom. But
you don't decorate outside at all?
No. Henry's afraid that if we put him outside, someone will steal him. So
sure they will.
He stays pretty close. If he does go out, he comes in at night.
Oh, okay. And I expect to see the skeleton next to baby Jesus for Christmas kneeling.
Yep. That's right. So
hey, I'm sorry, we didn't acknowledge Keely-Ann right at the start. She checked in, and we have a picture that she sent and a caption. Alan, if you want to rack that up.
Yeah, you want the picture and the caption, I don't think are the same this week. We have the caption here.
Something about, I've made a lot of money with my schnauzer, a fistful at a time.
It's somewhat related.
There.
Yeah.
Well, schnauzer.
Wine condoms, everybody. It's what everybody's craving these
That's
days.
right.
Wine condoms.
Right. So, Keely-Ann,
drink
thank
safely.
you. Oh, got to acknowledge Tracy. She sent me some more stuff. She sent me this sign from back then, jarts. And we talk about all these restrictions, and
we played jarts at my house when I was a kid.
Yeah,
never even hit my brother with it. But
look at those things.
As much as you try.
Yeah, this goes to with the internet not in service, we just played jarts and nobody complained. And there was a projectile with a very hard tip, and nobody cared. We just went about our business. And now it's all this. And then she sent me this.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice. Where do they live? Those sharks. Suburbs, train tracks.
Right in your toilet. Where are they? Where are those damn things?
Hey, since we're talking schnauzers, we did tease the idea of a different schnauzer story out of the city of Chicago. Apparently, an attempted carjacking was thwarted thanks to the bravery of a miniature schnauzer named Rudy. Rudy and his owners were pulling in, or owner at this point, it was just the male occupant, pulling into the garage of their home in Old Town when an armed assailant came around the corner and demanded the car and all the man's possessions. As the victim began following orders, Rudy, however, lunged at the attacker, who responded, quote, "Oh shit, a dog," and took off running. He and his accomplices were picked up a short time later after robbing and pistol whipping another victim several blocks away.
Don't mess with the schnauzer.
No.
Do not.
Only do it nice.
Be nice to the schnauzer.
And that's one of the 5 sizes, right? There's 5 sizes?
Yes. What are the sizes? Do we know?
We know they are teacup, toy, miniature, standard, and giant.
Right, and we welcome all sizes.
And we've got a picture to go with this last story here. If you're going to sell stuff online, pay attention to what's in the background when you post those pictures of the items you're selling. A Missouri man found out the hard way that you can get into trouble when he posted a shot of the catalytic converter that he was trying to unload on Facebook Marketplace. What he failed to take into account, though, was the background of his photo that included his large bag of meth and a syringe sitting on his coffee table. The Stone County Sheriff's Department sure noticed, and shortly thereafter took the man into custody. He's charged with possession and a parole violation.
Was the converter stolen?
Most of them are, I'm hearing these days.
Well, he could have stolen it from
a box.
But they didn't say it was stolen, right?
No. But
I swear, officer, somebody left it in the box truck, Ryan said.
Yeah. Just happened to be walking by.
but people are stealing them for have the cool metals involved, platinum being one of them. The other thing we learned this week on the podcast is I think they're getting people to steal the catalytic converters, telling them that they can get high because they crush the ceramic interior, mix it with other drugs, and then have people like these ne'er-do-wells snort it and then hand over the rest of the catalytic converter.
Oh, God. What percentage of the world population are total idiots? If it's just 1%, that's a lot of people. And it's more than 1%. Okay. Ellen
and
was
that's why we drink.
That's why we have this show, Fridays and or Saturday this week. Alan was at the 50th anniversary of Disney World. A lot of festivities, as you can imagine, and he was at all of them, hanging with the big Disney brass. Right, Alan?
Helps when I can find the mute button and the camera button, you know?
Wow, he's producing the show. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Look what he got.
There we go.
Alan, let me ask you this. And you get a lot of tchotchke there. You want to give some of that away over the coming weeks?
In the coming weeks, I noticed that we had a single viewer on Twitch, whereas the rest of our viewers are on YouTube and Facebook. So do we want to tell people, everybody go to YouTube, right? And in a future week, we'll give something away on YouTube. And maybe we should even should set a goal, right? If we hit, let's say, I don't know, 400 subscribers, we'll give away something better.
Okay.
There you go.
So,
like and subscribe.
something
Tell
like
your
that.
friends.
Every time you go to one of these functions, you get some tchotchke, and the one
Yeah, I mean,
was
some of the
Wait.
stuff behind me I've bought, and some of it is gifted.
That was it a ratatouille? They gave you some.
Oh, I got that.
Thinking,
Here, wait a minute.
Okay, they gave him this, and I'm thinking, where's he gonna wear this?
I'm not wearing this.
I know, but my point
even
is,
the women I'm friends with say these hurt their heads. So but these are tremendously popular.
See, and I'm sure they spent
Like,
a
do you
fortune
go
on
to
this
the
stuff.
grocery store in those?
In this neighborhood, people do, absolutely. I mean, the weirdest thing about living basically across the street of where the people who work at Disney, they call them cast members, where they park to work at the Magic Kingdom, there's a gas station right across the street at the back of the park, and seeing somebody in a Fantasyland costume behind the park pumping gas is a little off-putting. Seeing them in the grocery store.
But wait, you're never going to see Snow White or Jasmine or anybody like that.
No. The characters don't go grocery shopping. Their friends do, but the characters.
Yeah, I see Mickey behind the Magic Kingdom with his head off. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
The interesting thing about this time of year, when they have the Halloween parties, which this year they're calling Boo Bash, the guests who go to the park can dress up. And as you might imagine, here in 2021, people do their role playing pretty seriously. It's interesting. The restriction is they can't wear a mask, but the not wear a mask doesn't have to do with the face covering. It has to do with covering the whole face. They've always permitted for these Halloween parties some sort of costume that doesn't cover and obstruct the entire face. But of course, now you have to have the cloth mask when you're indoors.
So you showed the fireworks display earlier, and Disney explodes the most ammunition next to the military. Is that how that's worded?
I don't know if that's current, but that was the statistic that was going around.
Say, not ammunition.
Yeah.
Gunpowder.
The statistic that was always thrown around was that they were the second largest buyer of munitions. The first largest. Well, no, I think munitions includes a whole category of the explosives, but they're the number one civilian buyer of it. Absolutely. Thankfully, I suppose, right? Because they use it peacefully, and Disney would say magically.
So they put on a nice show for y'all, and you were.
Well, they have. So for the 50th, they've debuted a whole bunch of new things. At Magic Kingdom, which is what I used the tiny little video clip from Disney from in the opening today, they've started a new show they call Disney Enchantment. Disney Enchantment is their new 15-minute end-of-the-night fireworks show. Uses a lot of the music and animation from the more recent movies. A little bit too little of the old classic stuff for older folks like me, I suppose. But I thought it was on the whole a good show. The new show at Epcot, which is now called Harmonious, that's the one that involves those big barges we've been talking about. Unfortunately, that one was a little underwhelming. The show looks good. Technically, it's amazing. It got some polite golf claps during the preview I was at, and if you go on social media, there's some real haters out there.
Oh.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I didn't hate this show, but I didn't love it, and it replaced a show that I did love, which was Illuminations, and that's what makes things difficult at Disney when they replace something you absolutely love with something that doesn't top it. You know, that's true with restaurants, right? When they change the menu,
Never
at
get
your
rid of
favorite
somebody unless you have
That's right.
somebody as good or better in the hotel room across the street.
And I will say that Disney has put the investment in terms of the new tech, but there's something about this new show that just maybe it'll grow on me because I don't think it's going anywhere. They spent a heck of a lot of money on it. But there was just something missing. I was joking with some of the other members of the media that I'm friends with afterwards. There's a line from Amadeus where Salieri is telling Mozart, you need to end all of your musical numbers with a bang so the audience knows when to clap. And you know, most shows have you've talked about, Garry, use sky puke at the end of their shows to tell the audience, hey, this is it, this is the end. Harmonious doesn't end with a big bang. And then after it ends, they do another 6 or 8 minutes where the fountains are going with some video images and stuff. And it's kind of subtle. Disney calls it exit music, right? When the guests are supposed to leave and start heading for the exits. But people are confused when the show ended. We were even confused a little bit whether was that it or is there going to be one more section of this show. So I got a little bit of video I can show that I can talk over if I can hit the right buttons here. Let's see. That's the difficulty about hosting and talking. Disney World clips is this one here. Let's see if I can keep the volume off of it because I don't need the volume to talk over it. It's the spinning. Oh, there's the volume. There we go. There's the volume. So this is the pre-show for a new thing called Kite Tales, which takes place a few times a day over at Animal Kingdom. They have these oversized puppets like Crush you saw there. They have this is the fountain at Harmonious after the show. The image quality, as you can see, is phenomenal. The show itself, it was somewhat
You're gonna
interesting.
get your credentials yanked here, Alan.
So well, here's Mickey and Minnie in their new costumes. They have the new costumes for the Millennium Celebration. God, I'm 20 years behind. For the world's most magical celebration is what they're calling it. Blue and iridescent coloring is the theme of everything for this this festival, and you can see that at the end of the night after the fireworks, the characters are all dancing in a socially distanced way still. There's no character meet and greets, but I got to say the park was very empty. This was a media event and invited guests only, but it was very, very crowded by all reports yesterday. This was the coolest enhancement. They've put those lights under the monorail, and the lights glow the same color as the stripe on the monorail. And then this is the new lighting scheme on Spaceship Earth. They've got LED lights at every junction point all over it, and they sparkle and they glow, and they do shows every few minutes during the evening. And I think I've got some, I'm outside the park here. You'll see the monorail coming in and you see what's happening on Spaceship Earth. Those different LEDs are glowing and doing wild things. When you're up close, there's music and narration that accompanies this. And it really has given the entrance area to Future World a very sort of futuristic feel. Some people online have started to compare it to Vegas. This is if it's like Vegas, it's Vegas on steroids. I mean, that's all entertainment, right? Everybody's topping everybody else. I thought this was very classy and very well done, and the consensus of people I chatted with.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to imitate Vegas because nobody goes there.
No, I mean, why would anybody want to spend money in a place like Las Vegas?
I'm of the mindset, light up everything. Light it up like the Martians have landed. I'm a firm believer, if you have an entertainment center, light that puppy up.
So each of the 4 parks have something on that note called a Beacon of Magic. That's part of this festival for the 50th anniversary. It goes on for 18 months. So at Spaceship Earth, one of the shows that the Earth does itself is the Beacon of Magic for Epcot, and it includes a light that shines up in the sky. The castle is one of the beacons of magic at Magic Kingdom. At Animal Kingdom, the Tree of Life has one of its awakenings that is a beacon of magic. And over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, this is the one that's a little tricky for Disney in its name. The building is called the Hollywood Hotel, but the attraction is called the Tower of Terror. and the Tower of Terror lights up at night as a beacon of magic with projection on it and
It's still
lights.
magical.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it was
You
good
know,
to
but
see Minnie twerking.
is that the problem, though, that we have become so saturated and cynical that it is harder to create an environment that makes everybody go, wow?
Well, it's interesting because I have followed social media fan sites about Disney for over 20 years now. I mean, when I was a lawyer in Chicago, you know, there is no goofing off at work because it's your own time, right? I had to bill my hours and I wasn't billing clients for goofing off. So anytime I was sitting at my desk reading these fan sites, including Mouse Planet, the site I write for now, that was my time. And these sites have had Uber fans and Uber critics. And where those lines are is very gray. But now when you get into our current decade with social media, everybody wants to top everybody else and come up with the snarkiest thing they can possibly say. And it's not just me parsing my words. I mean, sometimes when you say positive things about Disney in this community, they start calling you an apologist. And if Disney's done something awful, I say so. Nothing I saw at Disney World was awful. There are things that were not as good as what came before. And that's a problem because everything is more expensive now. And, my annual pass cost this much more this last renewal and the next renewal based on the new pricing that came out. If I want to pay about the same price, I either have to give up some days or I have to make some other decision and pay $300 or $400 more for my next annual pass.
This goes back to that discussion earlier about billions of people living on this planet that had no creature comforts. Here we are in 2021 in Disney World. They've got this light show. I'm just not buying it. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, because we're bored, we've got everything, we have to look for trouble.
And they're getting your show for free twice on most Fridays, right? And look at the value that your viewers get for free each week.
Right.
And it's why people should become premium members, right?
There you go.
It's because that pays for the free shows.
And like and subscribe down below.
Absolutely.
Tell other people that you know to like and subscribe. Once again, nobody's going to bother you. There are no things you have to sign. Just like and subscribe, and it's going to make a big difference for us.
And when it comes to when you pay, I mean, I used to say about Disney, particularly in the early years of its major expansion, that goes back to the early 80s when Michael Eisner and Frank Wells took over as the head of the company, that the philosophy there seemed to be for quite a while, if you make people happy, they happily hand over their money. If you make them hand over their money first, they may not be made happy. But if you make them happy, they more happily hand over their money.
Okay.
And that's the delicate balance in any of the themed entertainment areas, right? It's, Disney keeps pushing the margins on that price point, and the fans fight back and people ask, are they getting what they pay for? And then, look at the big picture. You take a family for four to a movie in 2021 at what, $12 a pop for a family of four? You're at $50 right into the door. You got popcorn and soft drinks and all that. You're talking a couple $100. At Disney World, your entry price is $120 average. It changes by day now, and it's a very complicated formula. The question then becomes, well, you're there for how many hours, and what are you getting for that? And they're tough calls for everyone.
If you come here, it's absolutely free,
and
you
Leslie's
still
giving
have
stuff
a chance
away
to win
And
a
we're going to
hockey
do that
puck,
in
an
a minute
official
here.
hockey puck, and a wine condo.
I mean, come on, you're not going to get that. Go ahead, watch Saturday Night Live tonight. What are they giving away?
Nothing.
Okay, speaking of ticket prices, tomorrow night, the NFL game of the week, the Buccaneers are at New England. And that's Brady coming back to New England for the first time. So the minimum ticket I heard is $1,000.
Oh. Do you bring the kids?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about here.
Cotton candy and some pizza while you're there?
Variable pricing has certainly crept in over the years, right? I remember as a Chicagoan when after Chicagoans kept flooding Milwaukee County Stadium and then Miller Park when Miller Park opened, and whatever they call it now. Ryan can tell us what they call it now, right? That the people going to the park were mostly north suburbanites from the Chicago area, making that hour and a half drive up north. So what were the most expensive games of the year to see at Miller Park every year? It was the Cubs Brewers games. When I was a kid, every baseball game all season was the same price. And the same's happening in theme parks. And, as you know, when you go to the theater, the person next to you may not have paid the same price. And certainly when you fly, the person next to you, you're over on that side.
No,
The person next to you hasn't paid the same price.
Yeah.
Well, and that's been the case for a long, long time, right?
Right. All right. Well, let's give something away.
So with that, you've got just a couple more seconds to throw in #HockeyPuck. #HockeyPuck, all one word. Caps don't matter, right, Alan?
Caps do not matter. We got 19 entries. We got 19 entries, and we got more than 60 live viewers.
On a Saturday. Well,
yeah.
cool.
Well, we've got a good number of viewers. Thanks to folks for tuning in on a Saturday, because I couldn't get back from the park to do the show yesterday. I stayed away from the Magic Kingdom, for folks who are wondering. I was going to go to Magic Kingdom, but the park closed to what are called park hoppers, people who have multiple park privileges on the same day. And I decided if the park had closed to park hoppers, although I had media credentials that would have gotten me in, it was more crowded than I was going to be comfortable with. So I didn't.
Alan, I want you to
Magic
time
Kingdom.
travel 150 years back and tell people your troubles. I mean, really.
I'm not complaining. I'm just giving facts here.
And I want you to talk to them with your Ratatouille ears.
But you don't want to tell them. You don't want to tell them how much you got paid this year, because they're going to think you're way richer than any of us feel.
That's right. Damn it. Okay.
So it works all the way around. Oh, we've got a bunch of additional entries coming in.
All right.
The number just went up to 24. Anybody else? Last chance.
The computer is going to hit that button.
All right, here we go. Let me turn off the comment button over here. And let's hit the drawing button over here. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Love the sound effects.
There we go. Some new name, Tom Adam. Congratulations. So should we message him from Gary's account?
Either message me or Gary. Yeah, either message me or Gary, so that we can get your deets, and I will send it out as soon as possible. Once again, good for you, Tom. You win a hockey puck and an official wine condom from the Garry Meier Show.
And I know Larry Osberg won last week, and he checked in. Hi, guys. Sorry, checking in a little late today, but thank you again for the Benny's gift card. And Leslie, nice note too. Leslie sent it to him.
I saw that in the string somewhere.
And the wine condom that may be used many times. Yeah,
there's his comment.
There it is. Yeah.
Nice.
So
it's hard without Keith here, because we usually like having Keith on the comments, because I'm paying
Keith is on a cruise. He was going to check in. Apparently, he didn't have the capabilities to do that. So we'll find out how that cruise went.
He's taking his honeymoon a year and a half after getting married during a pandemic. So I'm sure he's going to have stories to tell when he gets home.
If that boat's rocking, well, they're probably in rough seas. That must be it.
There you go.
That's it. Thanks for listening. I'll not see you in church, mosque, or temple tomorrow. We're not ready for that yet. But have a great rest of the weekend. And next Friday, we're back at the regular time on the Cocktail Show with the Move On Motherfucker author.
Jody Eckleberry Hunt.
Yes, Ms. Hunt will be with us. And let's give out that cannoli. It's beautiful. Take the cannoli coming down the aisle. Oh, delicious. What about the schnauzer?
Put it on ice.
Okay. Wow. And fetch on all fours. 3 in the green, gear down, flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce, has landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce